Welcome back to the Bazaar. I'm rather incoherent, and I can't really find myself to play Pyg in this pocket meta we're in. With most of his best items removed, he's very often put into a situation where he really wants to use weights to scale up with stuff like the Vineyard and the Bees. But the problem with that is that the current king of the meta is Port Vanessa. There's a ton of Burst Vanessa, a ton of Port Vanessa. They sort of bleed into each other. And Port Vanessa is very likely to be running Harpoon Gun, which cripples the best build Pyg has. Which leaves me not really wanting to play a ton of Pyg, and having already uploaded 2 Vanessa videos in this meta, let's take Dooley for a spin. I think core beatdown Dooley's actually well positioned. It was still somewhat viable in previous metas, and a lot of the things that counter it are out. It's not going to do brilliantly versus the field of Vanessas, but it's still pretty strong, so let's get into it. That all assumes we actually find a combat core, of course, but who knows. For now, I'm very happy to take the core. Companion core is quite good, but with Pierre Conditioner having gone to Diamond, I find myself not super comfortable in late game companion core builds right now. I'm going to take Thug core. Looking to play combat core beatdown, it's one of my better options anyway. And with these options, I think I'm going to take weapons, deal plus 12 damage. There's a lot of very scary early game boards you can have with stuff like Pulse Rifle now, so I'm happy to take that. I'm going to go to small items. I would like to get a small friend off of this shop. I'll take the memory card. I don't think I can roll for a friend, and I don't want any of this. So I'm just going to take the memory card and leave, I suppose. Yeah. And we take England every time. It's just the most average gold. There's no synergy pieces from the other monsters. I'll be back with you once he's dead. We've gotten our 2 uses out of the memory card, so we're up a gold from where we started at the very least. Who knows how long we'll actually manage to keep this thing. And the England is about to die to Sandstorm. I am curious if there's any way for one shop to give me a good pulse rifle at this point, since I would need to find a small item, a small friend specifically. That could be a medium friend and a pulse rifle. I've got the gold for medium friends. Now I've got a lot more gold. I'm gonna go medium and large items. 1 XP is pretty good, but every large item is bad for me that's available at bronze. I genuinely think this is a pretty weak shop, but if I don't get shops on the next hour, it's terrible to have not gone here. That's okay. I'll probably get a shop. I want that experience. But we did get a shop. We absolutely have to pick up duct tape at some point. Duct tape enables so many skills to be genuinely very broken. We need to pick this up.
If that doesn't work out for you,
I don't really see laser pistol being very good. However, it does deal extra damage for us. Do I want to buy it just for power? Yes. And I'm going to roll because there are some very impactful things we could find here. That is most certainly not it. So right now we can put this on our board. Is Power Sander worth 2 gold to me? I'll be able to put it between these two, whether I'm charging the core as fast as possible or charging everything else with the core. It's very, very minor damage scaling. I think the Power Sander charging the core meaningfully improves my chance of winning my day 1 fight. So I'm going to take this out, move this over, and put the Power Sander in. It is Vanessa, which is beatable, but our board is fairly weak. Nothing to do about that. Let's see how it goes.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
So let's see what they have. Poison start with no poison. All right, we've got them. The Silver Life Preserver does mean they have 500 health, so we have to get through a lot. But I'm pretty confident that the damage difference between us is such that I'll be through about 300 of their health when they're through about 50 of mine, and then the Sandstorm will kill them before I go down. I could be wrong about that, but I doubt it. I am a little bit underestimating the value of the shield and the Life Preserver. I might just be dead. That's unfortunate. My weapon's gonna go off at least twice more. It's very close. I think I lose by a thin margin. That's unfortunate. Oh, also, I just had an entire extra attack at Eden. He had like 6 health when this killed him. So if he'd taken full damage, I was like 20 health from beating him. Silver Life Preserver too strong. I forgot about its shielding. 50 health's pretty miserable, but all of these options are fairly low value. I've got the tool. I'm going to take plus 10 damage on my core, but none of them are very good. 50 health could have been better, but I'm leaning incredibly hard into beatdown on my early days. I don't have the money to go to Curio and buy anything else, it feels like. I can get all of that on my board now. I really feel like going to Curio is a mistake. Fortis can't give me anything useful before gold skills, so I'm going to take a small friend, which I did want one of those. Not really this one. Get a friend, strange mushroom, or small and medium items. It's day 2, which means Boardier or Rogue Scrapper. I beat a Rogue Scrapper, I think. I do not beat a Boardier. So the experience has a 50-50 chance of mattering. I'm going to go to Quixel. Huh.
Don't care.
I think I just take both of those and I now know that I beat Rogue Scrapper. Yeah, these aren't good late game items, but they're very strong right now. They ensure I can beat any fight. Not any player fight, but any NPC fight other than Warrior, which we thankfully did not get. And I'm going to go fight Rogue Scrapper because I really want that experience to level up before the player fight at the end of the day. I'm just like briefly thinking, is it better to increase my shield here? I'm not worried about killing him in a timely fashion. I'm worried about actually dying. I think buffing up that duct tape guarantees I win. Let's see if I'm grossly overestimating myself, but I feel like Rogue Scrapper is just genuinely not that tough. You need a build that does a little bit to beat him, but not a ton. I feel like all the triggers I'll be getting on this duct tape are definitely worth it. I probably should have swapped the duct tape and the sander, looking at this now. The core goes off more, so I wanted the damage on the core, but I guess buffing the core is objectively better than, I don't know. I'm looking at this, I'm like, I could have had it here buffing duct tape core, or I could have had it here buffing duct tape gun. The core goes off more often, this is correct. I don't know why I was second guessing myself so hard. And yeah, the duct tape has scaled out of control, his damage is not that high. We definitely win in fatigue. And we have another 2 ticks on this memory card, which is really helping our economy be less than the garbage it looks like. With 2 gold in the bank on that pelt as well. Nola's really not it. Small items aren't really what I want. I might actually take bronze chocolate bars here. There's no game altering. I need friends. I need better friends, I should say. I don't want the train spider. I'd much rather have a Chris Army knife or even like literally any of them. But if I spend my money there, I'll have a very hard time getting a combat core on a large merchant or a pulse rifle on a medium merchant. I'm going to take chocolate parts. Combat core is a weapon. It could be on A-list. Same with pulse rifle. We go here.
My battle days are over, but my weapons...
I don't mind getting an Uzi at all. The upgrade in damage here is pretty substantial. I'm going to take both and roll, which requires me to sell something. Toss these. I'll toss the pelt since it literally cannot go on a board. If I'm rolling, how much money do I have left? I've got 1 gold. I can toss the memory card and this and that for 8 gold. And if I see specifically the combat card, I'd be happy to sell laser pistol plus power sander to find it. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the Uzi to improve the board that I'm about to have. And I'm going to roll.
I prefer action.
Pulse rifle's really good. Chris Army knife and pulse rifle, huh? Yeah, I think I want that. Also, the pulse rifle has bronze 4 attack speed and then every other speed 3 attack speed. I genuinely don't know if that's a bug. It's very weird that it's like that. We're about to level up. We need a space on our board anyway. The memory card wasn't going to last much longer no matter what. I'm going to toss this to afford these. Pick up the army knife, pick up the pulse rifle, be on my way. Glad I rolled. Get a friend, 75 max health. Upgrade the core is probably going to be it. It is just core damage, but still. 75 health might be more important, to be genuinely honest with you, but I think I want the core upgrade for later. Now, Chris Army Knife needs to shoot this gun. The Uzi probably wants to be on board. So the question is just, is it worth having anything get charged by the core? I would want it to be like my slowest item, and that would be the laser pistol. Charging the core 1 second every 5 seconds, or getting this charged 1 second every 5 seconds, it's like almost identical. The core deals more damage, so I guess charging it's more valuable. But I think Power Sander currently weakens my board, so I'm gonna go fight Vanessa with this. It's a pretty competent beatdown. Don't worry about duct tape, it's in the right spot. Don't look at duct tape. That's definitely where duct tape should have been, and nothing was done wrong. He's up 40 health on me, but I think I kill him way before that trebuchet does anything meaningful with its burn. Yeah, this is just a brutal beatdown.
You should put it toward nobler.
At this point, we're really looking to find combat core and pulse rifle upgrades. Those are the 2 most important things for us if we're playing Dooley beatdown. And we have an ALO weapons vendor off the start. No aerodrome, no small friend. Let's see it.
Any good fights lately?
Oh my. What a shop. Gear Nola and Train Spider will never hit my board, and I need 8 gold to buy all that, right? Toss those. I'm just gonna buy the entire shop and leave. We just got a lot stronger. Let's also put this shit in the right locations. Yeah, I feel very good about my day 3 fight now. I think we gained a lot of power there. This thing just went from 4 speed 22 damage to 3 speed 42 damage, which is a minor jump. We have to take spare change here. We simply can't afford to buy anything. I am pretty confident we kill Scout Trooper. Our shielding is not great. We still have the Power Sander. I could play defensively if I wanted to. I don't want to. We've got this. We kill Scout Trooper. We have enough shield off of the rapid triggering duct tape that we're going to live long enough to kill him. I'm very confident. If I'm wrong, egg on my face, but I'm pretty sure that we just deal a shitload of damage, and he doesn't quite deal enough damage to get through duct tape and 400 health. Oh, it's not even as close as I thought it was. We're still over 250 when he dies. All right. It's good to know I'm underestimating my build for once. That's not very useful right now, but it could be relevant later. I'm gonna take gold here. There's not a lot of medium and large items I can even afford right now, so I'm happier to take gold. And XP. XP is always very good. 100 health's pretty solid. Friend loot is money, and cooldown reduction, potentially. Core cooldown is usually a consideration, but not this time. It's between 100 health and friend loot, really. My board's currently got empty spaces on it, huh? I guess Power Sander goes there, and hopefully we find something to fill things out. I'm gonna take 100 health. I find that if you take a bunch of health options over the course of a run, you'll be out of range for a lot of weaker burst builds on day 7 and later. And I think we're going to a medium merchant vendor and hoping to find something.
What can I get you?
These are decidedly not it. Schematics can be useful later, but right now they're not doing anything. If I roll, I have enough to buy a silver item, so I roll. Oof, that is not it. The Uzi is a ton of damage right now. I could cut the Uzi to put welding helmet in and put the sander between welding helmet and duct tape. And that is like not a negligible amount of shield, but it's getting my build all twisted up and being balanced instead of just killing them. And being balanced is much worse with poison on the field. I really don't think there's any reason to buy any of this. I'm on my way.
See that mountain? That's...
And I'll throw a spare change on the board just because it can get targeted by a harpoon. They've got no wins, which bodes well for me.
You should know.
We have crit chance, haste freeze, and poison. Hitting the Uzi is a little bit annoying. It's probably the best thing they could have hit, but I don't think it's remotely enough to save them. Their build doesn't really do anything. They have a high value cove, but the pufferfish builds poison very, very slowly at this point.
Bring her about! I've got another salvo with me.
We're still really looking for combat core. We would like to find one before level 6, if at all possible. 100 health, chocolate bars, non-weapon items. We're not really about non-weapon items. We're trying to get rid of them, actually, to make room for more weapons. So I'm gonna take the health. Technically, the combat core is a shield item. I'm also quite poor is the problem. I think I would rather take 2 gold and a tool. When I look at this, I always think like, oh, there are some specific items in each category, but one of those items is a hammer. And the hammer's pretty appealing for just like instantly winning runs. At least that fits on my board, even if it's not what I want to be doing. Technovirus is pretty damn scary, but I think I kill him pretty immediately. Like, he doesn't destroy items at the start of combat. It takes a while for that to go off. And he only destroys small items, meaning that the core and the pulse rifle will always be here. I might regret this, but I think we beat a Technovirus. Let's see it. Let's see how much damage we get done before these viruses go off, because I think it's quite a lot. So the viruses are about to go off, and he's down to 300. Which is good, because we just lost the Chris Army knife that was firing the gun. Yeah, just continuing to underestimate the build. Highest gold option, thank you. Upgrade the core. I was really hoping to have combat core before I took that, but I mean, of the options, it's very clearly that one. It's a shame it no longer gets faster, it's just dealing more damage. Small items, huh? Are there any really good small items that increase my damage on the build? Yeah, you can get things like the raise, I suppose. Taking gold and XP when the gold has very little value to me isn't generally good. I'm gonna take Andy. If nothing else, you can upgrade what's currently on my board. The battery is faster than the goggles. I'm not sure what I'm using it to charge, to be honest. It's only 2 gold to have the battery in case it improves the board later. I don't mind having the battery for the potential of upgrading it repeatedly. But at the same time, I often say I'd rather not hold on to this. I'd rather not buy it, upgrading it slowly, trying to get the gold or a diamond one, and instead just find a gold or diamond one in the shop, which I'm preventing from happening by buying it at bronze. So I'm gonna roll here. We take crypto every time, it's free money, and here is one of the rays. This one is not gonna give me anything in damage. I was really hoping for the damage ray more than anything, although I don't know which one starts at gold. That might be the damage one. It should have a lot of haste and be fairly fast. I don't think goggles have a place on my board, so I'm gonna take it. Normally I would go JJ here with this much money, but my money is temporary, income is permanent, and I need to click this income. It's before day 5. It's going to give me so much money for the course of the game that remains. It looks like crypto immediately went to 9. Good investment. And I still feel very strong against Vanessa's. I haven't improved a ton today, but I've gained some health. I've gotten my core up to gold. We should just roll this guy, I think. That's a lot of damage, but like not that much. He doesn't have lifesteal, and this dude only has 500 health. So I'm guessing he has some crit chance on this, but oh, the shotgun's new? So this has 20% crit chance. Oh, from left eye, probably. I don't know about bronze double barrel day 4 as a meaningful part of your damage. He's in the process of figuring out a flagship build. We called him during transition, which is basically a free win. Sell items, work at docks, small weapons. There's a lot of items I want. I'm going to JJ, I have tons of gold.
A crazy place, right?
Unfortunately, there's basically no friend that's ever gonna be better than Chris Army Knife for us. Chris Army Knife doing both damage and shield synergized with all late game skills, and we don't want a second friend because we're relying on pulse rifle, so we're out. Like I said, you can get better batteries by waiting. Does the level 2 battery get a spot? The main thing is, if you're not scaling a combat armor, then the battery's not super important. I will take this. Finding gold and diamond items does seem rarer than bronze and silver, so I'll take this to make it more likely I can get this to a high rarity later.
Enjoy your purchase.
We have found Pole. It is day 5. There's a very good chance he does not have combat armor.
This is talking fast.
There is no shot we ever use any of this. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I don't really want to upgrade my solar farm, friends. Thanks for trying, Pole. Anyway, let's go fight a mod squad. Mod squad stands no chance against us. I am curious to see how quickly we deal 1300 damage though, which is way more than any player will have at this point unless we run into a pig, but who does that in this meta, right? Now, that's not too bad, really. We did it way before Sandstorm. It was like, what, 15 seconds or so? Charcoal is just loot, one of the worst things I can get from him. Upgrade your leftmost item. For beatdown purposes, I actually want to take this. I can get upgrade the core later, so I don't want to upgrade the core now, since it's a normal level up reward unlike almost everything else. Rather than going medium items, I think we can go Deadly Duel and get some more gold, more experience. Is there any way I use your stuff? That's useless for me. I don't heal. The lower level strength would actually not be bad to get a second copy of it. But yeah, there's really nothing here I won't. I mean, it's medium items. They're worth money. Just don't give me a sender, dude. Heal 90 is such a large amount. And I suppose I'll go to the shop to round this out, try to get some upgrades.
Master merchant or something.
Thrusters and Nitro. Nitro is fast. But if this is going off like every 3 seconds or more, which it is, then this is getting 2 seconds of haste, putting it at 4 and constant disruption. I feel like Beta Ray is better. I'm gonna keep Beta Ray. I don't think any of that improves my board. I can just sell this. I can just buy it and sell it to put 4 damage on the core. I should have considered that on a previous memory card and didn't really think about it. I'm going to. I'm just gonna take the core scaling.
When I don't care.
Toss it immediately. No reason to sell anything else just yet. We have a ton of gold. This guy's at 2 wins. But it might be that he got them recently and he's putting his build together right now, so let's figure it out. Let's see what he's doing. He has a Dinosaur, but it looks like he'll be mostly dead before that goes off. It looks like he's playing Soldering Gun and mostly trying to burn us, but yeah, we just deal so much damage compared to him. Our damage output's so much higher than the rate he applies burn. Next day, we have Bazaar Con, Battlefield, JJ. Small items could improve our board, but there's so many bad hits, and JJ sells combat cores. He sells upgrades to everything on our board. I don't want to gamble on loot boxes right now. I want to go to JJ. Although, technically, JJ is a loot box too. If I was going to buy this schematics, I should have bought it before I did that. Don't think I'm going to, though. I'll take gold crypto because I'm a gambling addict.
How about this weather?
I think cool LEDs is going to be better than Beta Ray. At worst, it's a little bit slower, and the constant slow seems more valuable to me. It's only slowing by 1 right now, though. That's the issue. Yeah, I wish this was a much higher rarity, silver or gold. At 1 second slow, it's just not doing a ton. Nah. I'm not happy with that or with Beta Ray. It's just that my last item was weak. There's not really a way of getting around it. 8 gold's pretty minor to me. A shield item could be combat core, so I'm going to gamble on shield. Both tool and shield aren't really super relevant. Hey, Brick Buddy, I'm afraid to tell you you're not wanted here. Especially at bronze, my dude. Pole, combat core me, please. What a nice guy. He's so nice. Alright, obviously Beta Ray's out, Sanders out, Laser Pistol's out. Everyone slides to the left, and combat core is our right slot.
Your coins are like...
So that's going to give me much better damage scaling, although it's not going to be incredible right now. Am I better with the laser pistol and the sander? Probably not. Is there anything else you can tell me at large that I care about? No. Do we kill Lich? No, absolutely not. My litmus test for do I kill Lich on a combat core beatdown deck is basically, is combat core at diamond, which it never is. I've seen much better combat core builds than this fall to Lich. So we're gonna take Foreman instead. And it's so funny when you like talk about how you can't beat Lich and then go steamroll the other fight, because Lich is just a monster. It's not like Foreman's gonna be remotely close. This dude's gonna be dead by 12 seconds. Exactly at 12, in fact. And once this starts scaling higher, maybe we can consider moving some stuff around and getting a battery on board, but for now, toss the Brick Buddy, and we're gonna put that on the duct tape immediately. I'm actually pretty happy with that pull. And this board can take us to the end of the game. We do have to find an upgrade on combat core at some point, since core upgrade is a level up reward that shouldn't be too hard. Skills on day 6 really are not that good. Small items are pretty terrible though, and 7 gold when I'm sitting at 28 is also not very good. So I guess I'm taking Nufu, even though I don't really think highly of skills on this day. Frontal shielding, your leftmost shield item has plus 15 shield. I can rearrange my board, flip all this, and get that on the duct tape if I want it. I don't haste currently, even though quick freeze is obviously the best skill here. I think it might be worth it to flip the board like this and take frontal shielding. I think that's a reasonable amount of shield and actually impacts things. I do want to get pulse rifle and combat core upgrades. Even Uzi is fine. I like the 175 health a lot, but I do want to find an upgrade for one of these things. Oh hey, it's the Alpha Ray. Huh. Your weapons gain plus 3 damage for this fight is really not that much. Presumably it also has 50% crit chance. Let me confirm that Alpha Ray does not give my weapons crit chance or anything like that. Yeah, the Alpha Ray just has plus 50% crit chance, nothing special there. So I'm going to roll that. And no upgrades on board. Unfortunate.
All my weapons have been tested in battle.
There's really no way this board's getting improved. I think I forgot to check crypto a few times. Whoops. Anyway, let's check out this Dooley and see what his build's doing. He's a Brick Buddy Monitor Lizard with a Friend Course. That's a decent chunk of poison, but with a bronze Brick Buddy, I think I will kill him before the poison gets me. Oh yeah, it's actually not even close. It does take me 16 seconds to kill him. It's a bit closer than I would have thought. Really have to get this dude scaled up. Silver is not cutting it on the combat core. Small tools, work at the docks, bronze tier junk items. I'm happy to go here for CDR, to be honest.
Recycle, relax.
Move this down to the stash. Do we have anything that slows? Yeah, we have duct tape. So I'm happy to upgrade the duct tape. Happy to get plus 2 damage on my weapons. I'm gonna take this, but not use it yet in case we find the leg brace. No leg brace. Just going to toss it then. Upgrade the damage on the pulse rifle, actually. Get the scrap, bring the duct tape back down, upgrade it. I think the core's cooldown is the most important one. It might be combat core. It might even be pulse rifle, just 'cause it deals so much damage and it's the thing scaling everyone else up. We definitely buy and sell the glands. We get the crit chance. Get the addition. Oh, the gloves weren't even crit chance, they're damage. I'm just losing my mind. I don't have so much gold that I'm happy to gain 1 region for 2 gold, but I will take the feather and be on my way. 200 health is, if nothing else, very good, and I'll happily take 200 health over gold in this circumstance. Let's get our board fixed. I think I put the feather on pulse rifle. I could be going crazy, but the CDR on the core doesn't matter so much to me because, like, essentially you're getting CDR by making this faster. Making this go off faster seems less relevant than making it scale faster. There's arguments both ways. I don't know the math. I'm taking the pulse rifle. Midsworth has small and large items. Combat core is silver, so I can afford to buy it from him. I'll go here. I don't want any of that, and I've missed my upgrades, unfortunately. Do you want to deviate into Bazaar? That's really for more defensive and control-y builds. I'm all gas, no brakes. Destroying an item at 8 seconds isn't really something that improves my build. It is worth thinking about cog at least a little bit. It's only a silver cog. At gold and diamond, the cog is pretty good, but at silver, I'm really not feeling it. I'm gonna leave all that in the shop. And I'll happily go to Thug over Treasure Turtle for the chance at Bonk. Bonk is just ridiculously strong. Increasing your enemy cooldowns by 1 is terrible for every single build in the game. I guess with the exception of pure health, regen, close sign, pawn shop pig. Would spices ever hit my board? No, of course not. What am I even talking about? Toxic Concealed Dagger is money and nothing else. 200 max health or items. If it were a weapon shop or a large shop, I'd go there, but knowing how likely it is to miss, I'm going to take the 200 health. Non-weapon items is only duct tape. Duct tape is a card where just having it matters, not the level of it. So I'm going to take small items for potential upgrades, I think. I honestly kind of want the gold. Need to keep checking the crypto. I'm not as poor as I think I am. Yeah, I'm going to go small items now that I remember I had the crypto.
First step toward good taste.
Is First Aiden presently better than Chris Army Knife? The answer is yes. Welcome aboard, little guy.
Shall I gift wrap it for you?
I will not be selling the Chris Army Knife because he is definitely going to be better at some point than First Aiden, but for now, he's decidedly better. And I'll roll for potential upgrades. I'll take that for damage scaling, however minor it is. All right, I still think I'm pretty well poised against other Dooleys. There are definitely much better Dooley builds than this. The fact my combat core is only silver means I probably just lose to any other combat core build that had an earlier combat core. You have shielded duct tape that's not going off very frequently, but it is scaling up. You have a solar farm and a force field. So your plan is just to like somehow get enough shield for this force field to kill me? I don't see that happening. Like your shield scaling's not actually that fast because you don't trigger the duct tape very often. Oh, it's not shielded, it's shiny. That doesn't give it more shield, that makes it slow more. I am surprised at how much damage we had to put into him. It gave him more shield than I thought with the gold shield core, but yeah, it just doesn't deal that much. Kind of surprised to only be 1 loss on day 8 with how weak the build feels. We gotta go large items, we gotta try to, thank you, Pole. All right, our build's tremendously better now. Nothing else we need from him, ever again. 2 gold, friend, shield, health. I love the health. It's always a race. I like having a head start. Are you stealing from Pole's stock? What is this? Get out of here with that. Yeah, we're just leaving here. There's nothing for me. Bardonator bot is plus 2 gold and 1 experience compared to Jack. Jack gives me the ability to negate freezes 1 in 10 times I fight him. I think 2 gold and 1 XP is a suitable cost for a 1 in 10 to beat late game freeze builds. Like, I'm just so afraid of port freeze potion builds that Rapid Thaw is actually insane. Especially but still bugged and just breaking freezes after it triggers about 3 or 4 times.
I didn't think this was
Is it 1 in 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, assuming it's all equally weighted 1 in 10. Aww, that's not the one I wanted. I guess First Aiden's a little bit scarier now. Maybe there's some way we build into it, but I'm not seeing it. I'm gonna take bronze tier junk items for damage scaling. I'm pretty poor. Am I poor? I'd be less poor if I kept checking crypto balance. I'm gonna toss all this shit that's never hitting my board again. Figure out how much money I really have with liquid right now. I have enough to buy all of this stuff, including a CDR. If I do that, I can't really go to another shop. I'll take the temporary but actually permanent health. And Nufu's pretty weak right now. I think I'm actually gonna take health again rather than spending gold at a shop. First, I'm gonna check crypto. Glad I checked crypto, holy shit. All right, cool, we're rich again. But I still think I'd rather take the health right now. Maybe that's stupid. The thing is, the only upgrade on my board I really care about is Diamond Pulse Rifle. If I get the scrap at gold tier, it'll upgrade my cores and then I can take the guaranteed upgrade here. I'm pretty solid on health right now. I will go to JJ. I don't think I'm gonna get anything super valuable out of this.
sad to say goodbye.
Haste the core for 2 seconds is going to, especially if I put it to the right of the core, probably permanently haste both cores. Doing that basically requires me to give up on the Uzi, but I don't really mind that. So I lose the damage on the Uzi, which is getting to a point where it's kind of inconsequential. I no longer charge the cores effectively with the Uzi, but I'm permanently hasting the core, which is probably better. It's going to be on par with, not better, but I'm permanently hasting the combat core too, which is the important part. I'm going to pick it up. I'm not sure it's right, but I'm going to try it. Oh! Okay. Can we afford that? Yeah, we already had the money. I just misread how much I had. I was at 24 exactly. Yeah, I don't really care about upgrading the core anymore because, like, getting it to diamond really is just more damage, I think. Let me double check that. Yeah, upgrading this to diamond is just plus 40 damage. So I'm going to take the combat core upgrade here and stop caring about upgrading my core at all.
Come back for a refund.
Good use of my money, I say. Do I think the GPU is better than the Uzi? Like, really? Well, now that this is at diamond, almost definitely. Yeah, I'm going to trust the GPU is right. That getting +2 haste and then repeatedly charging it with the core is going to result in the GPU giving way more damage by triggering the combat core more often. Or that it's irrelevant because it's getting blown up anyway. This is a pretty weak port build. It's basically just haste post and pufferfish, but that doesn't really do a ton. It is definitely worse for me than it otherwise would be since I immediately lost the gunman, but once my core goes off again, he's dead. Poison's just relatively slow.
Defeat does not defeat me.
And the unfortunate thing about fighting port builds is they almost always run harpoons, which can just easily cripple me if they immediately hit First Aid and Chris Army Knife, whoever it is that's in charge of the pulse rifle. There's no friend I need. I'm going to take spare change, so I start building up my economy as I go into the late game, because I'm going to need a ton of money for skills very soon. I'm going to take friend items for the same reason over experience, because I feel very broke and we're on the day where skills start being very good. There's no item I really want. This can just be my final board. I don't feel like I have the gold to risk some coin, so I'm going to take a small weapon, I think. I'm going to hold these until the player fight. I can sell the rest of this, obviously. I don't think Uzi's going back in either. I'm going to get a small weapon. I don't like spending my gold on risk some coin. Upgrade the Chris Army Knife? Sure, why not? And there is no way that we go anywhere other than Roaming Isle here. Nothing gives us anything we care about, so most experience, most gold. And this should give us a slightly better chance to see how good the haste effect is on how much damage we're dealing. In player fights, I just tend to look at my opponent's board and not really pay too much attention to my own a lot of the time. Just, you know, classic tunnel vision. And yeah, this is getting us a lot more triggers out of the combat core. Although it is scaling the combat core less, but like nowhere near a meaningful amount less compared to the additional triggers. And this is why I've wanted gold specifically for Fortis. He can just give me skills that single-handedly win the run, and I can't afford to not buy them. Unfortunately, today he's griefing. It's very frequently the case that I just don't get anything useful off this guy. Spending all my gold on backup defenses sounds really hard to stomach. It is a good skill. The issue is really just if I buy backup defenses and then I see like a Nufu that could have offered me so many other things that are better than backup defenses, I'm self-griefing pretty hard. I'm going to upgrade my frontal shielding instead and carry this money on into future days. Oh my god, it's the fabled pig. I wonder what he does. Apparently not much. He's had 2 wins. Well, maybe they're recent wins, and I'm actually about to die. In fact, they kind of have to be recent wins. How did this get to diamonds? Doesn't it start at bronze? What happens? How do you get 4 copies of that? I don't even understand. Anyway, that is a quite large dog, and he has a pretty big sheet death, so I might be dead, especially if this thing has crit chance. 11%, huh? Well, we haven't been crit, and if we continue to not be crit, we could win. Nope, got him. Hilariously, we finished him off with the poison from first aid, and right after he shielded for 1,000. Upgrade your leftmost item. That is definitely going to be the pulse gun. It is the most damage. It was originally going to be the pulse gun. More haste, though. We can also upgrade CDR. Man, why has it got to be so complicated? There's so many decisions here. I'm going to sell this battery. This battery is never coming in unless I get either a ton of CDR on the core or a diamond battery. So that's going to be leaving. There's no reason to keep that. This is also irrelevant. I think upgrading the GPU is just worse. It's pretty close to full uptime right now. I don't feel like giving it full uptime is a massive upgrade, especially considering it's open to disruption. I don't think upgrading CDR is right, but it's definitely hype as hell. It would be 3% CDR on everything. Let me check how much damage Diamond Pulse Rifle is again. Diamond Pulse Rifle goes up 40 damage a shot, which is 40 DPS, which is a lot, but like nothing particularly crazy. I want the Diamond, I want it to be Diamond. It deserves to be Diamond. I think upgrading the Insect Wing might have been the right thing to do, but I don't want to do that. Just emotionally, not like logically or mathematically. That's not how I made that decision. Temp health's really good when it's not temp health, but I've noticed that when you're doing what I do, where you recognize that temp health is bugged and permanent, when you buy it on the first 2 hours of a day is when I've seen it bug out and give you like 50 health instead. So I'm going to take gold here. And we'll check out some slow skills. We do have duct tape to trigger them. Slow 2 items for 5 seconds is pretty good. Gain regen, not so much. And the first time you slow, freeze an item for 4. So would I rather freeze an item for 4, 6 seconds into the fight, or slow 2 for 5, 4 seconds into the fight? Freeze is typically the better effect. I'll take the creeping chill. I'm not sure which is better, to be honest. And we crush better than octopus, no problem. I'm happy to pick up 13 gold from this punching bag. Obviously, all his items are useless. I have too many medium items for hyper focus, but standard ordnance is a massive amount of damage. Arms race is you know, it's an amount of crit chance. I'd much rather get standard ordnance than anything else here, but that is a pipe dream. And that is the expected result, is Tiny Cutlass. Gain shield on duct tape, 4 gold, gain shield, get a shield item, 2 XP. The relatively minor scaling on duct tape seems irrelevant to me. I'm taking XP. Am I gumballs rich, or do I want to take more burn items? I mean, I'm gumballs rich right now. I continue upgrading CDR. I know this stuff's not improving. Down to 2.6 seconds on pulse rifle. I think I'm gumballs rich. I got the money. I'll be back with you once it's all sold. All right, there is 1 gumball left to buy. And we got a very good amount of crit chance, very little shield. I'm very happy with that result. Enchanted on with haste effects, huh? Probably gonna pick that one. It's just a question of what thing gets the haste effect. All right, after looking at all the options available to me, I feel pretty confident Hasty the Core is obviously my best option, because this is going to be going off pretty damn rapidly thanks to the pulse rifle, and this gives haste 2 items for 3 seconds every time it goes off. Another Vanessa. Let's see if this is Paul, is a terrifying port build, a terrifying burst build, or a dead man walking. He is a port build with burst. Dear God, I'm probably just dead. I do not think we are anywhere near capable of surviving that. Oh, he had an inexorable. That's where it all came from. What hero merchant can meaningfully improve my game plan? Stell could give me a hammer, and I have the tools to use the hammer. Other than that, this all seems pretty irrelevant, but Stell could be pretty helpful. No Stell. Can Vanessa help? I'd be replacing a GPU if I did anything. I can get economy from a Pygmalion shop. I think that's the best bet here. No, thank you. I mean, 32 gold's a bit of a steep ask, you know? Also, the vineyard appears to have fallen through the board a little bit. So 16 gold for 5 income, and there are a maximum of 3 days left in the game. Doesn't really check out to me, Pig. I'm not going to be buying that. I guess we're going to be buying gumballs again. Be back with you shortly. 1 shield gumball, 1 gumball left to buy, and a pretty substantial amount of crit chance out of that. If we find anything to scale crit, I'll be happy with it, but currently, do we beat Frost Street Champion? I guess I should have kept the Uzi on the off chance that I found Blizzard later, because then it would become better than the GPU. I don't know that I even kill Property Baron on time. Am I fighting Hulking Experiment? Can I really not kill this dude? It's just the freezes are a massive pain in the ass, because every 3 seconds, this gets frozen for 3 seconds. I'm gonna fight him. I think we beat him, but it's just like a really frustrating fight. And the thing I envision is mostly how incredibly disruptive the iceberg is going to be. I think we kill him before that nitrogen hammer does too much, but it's very bad. All right, let's see how much we actually do. The nitrogen hammer is going to kill me the swing after this, probably. And it looks like we'll kill him before that happens. Yes.
You stronger.
Relatively close. Well, that's really, really good if I find anything to use it on. Don't really have it yet. Upgrade the core. Well, compared to the other options, I'll take the extra damage, not that it does a ton. Fortis, give me the juice. I don't even care what the other options are. You have 3 different skills that win the game. None of those are it. No defensive stance, no sharp corners, and no hardened shields. I have no medium shield items. I have more than 1 weapon. Your shield items have plus 20 is probably what we take. No, because that's actually just worse than double my shield right now for less gold. It's the second half of the day. I'm going to take temp boost health, expecting to actually get my 500 health. We did. This can come over and hang out until we find a freeze item to put it on, and there are a lot of Dooleys that beat us. There's also a lot of Dooleys that lose to us. Who's to say? I don't feel particularly strong for day 11 at this point. I have got really no powerful skills going. My opponent doesn't really seem to either. He's playing shield scaling with a force field, which I think puts me in a pretty good place to win. Unless he just like randomly freezes all of my scaling, gets ahead of me, and then starts critting his shield. Randomly froze my pulse rifle, prevented any scaling, and killed me with a force field. That's unfucking fortunate, you know? If he'd frozen duct tape or GPU or first Aiden, that fight looks completely different. Oh. The random freeze was pretty big there. Free enchantment, please, I suppose. None of these are gonna do great with heal effects. I'm gonna put it on the gun just because it's most likely to matter, because the gun heals for large amounts, but it's not good. We're very likely not going 10 wins having lost there. I was confident at first until the random freeze killed my scaling in a fight where the moment I fall behind on scaling, my opponent deals crazy damage and wins. Unfortunate. Weapon skills includes defensive stance, so I want to come here. Unfortunately, we're looking at plus 18 damage on our 0 small weapons. Just a bunch of shit that's completely and utterly useless to me. Rough. That's why I don't like the weapon vendor. I'm gonna take Finn's big health. I probably should have went to Curio, but I'm just kind of a little bit on tilt at the minute after that last fight. Plus 20 healing on the pulse rifle is actually a meaningful amount now. I'll take it over the shield. And I'm pretty sure we still crushed Lord Arkin. It's not that like we're cripplingly weak for this point in the game, despite how that fight looked. I am interested in seeing how this fight goes, though, because I need to see just like how quickly do I deal 6,000 damage. I know it's scaling up, but like in a lot of fights, I don't have that much time to scale up. And the answer is pretty damn quickly, to be honest. Lord Arkin has some big hits for me. Diamond Battery is probably by far the biggest one. Large weapons deal plus 120 is still damage, if not a tremendous amount of it. Looking like core CDR here. All right, Nufu, give me the juice.
Is full of noise.
That is not it. Left-handed is going to be pretty irrelevant. Burn. I have more than one friend. Oh, I don't have more than one friend. 10% CDR on core, huh? That's pretty substantial. It's not like game winning, but there are so many worse skills I can hit on the roll. There are also some skills that are single-handedly game winning. I think the amount of power this offers is important.
As long as you draw breath.
And I guess I'm taking health and hoping, because there's really nothing else to do on that day. Okay, they're winning later than I am, since they're not on death's door and I am, with the same amount of wins. Which is worrying. Oh. They are playing Iceberg. With exponential scaling on spices. Oh, I'm fucked. That freeze was very good, but I don't think it matters. Wait. Actually, we win. All right. That ship going off twice more, so 6 seconds from now would have killed me. I'm pretty glad that the spices did not eat my one random freeze. You know, RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. We live and die on the back of random freezes in this game. If I take 2 XP, it could cause me to level up before my final fight. 375 health is frankly a kind of minor amount now that will be roughly equivalent to what I get off of this experience. I go to Fortis every time, and I hope he gives me one of the 3 skills that snap the game in half. And as always, he has let me down rather tremendously. 10% shield, so 700 or 36 every time. I think it's that one. I think the 10% shield in the first use might be decidedly better. Just to check it out in video to test my theory, I have a lot of health from Jules Cafe right now. It's bugged and persisting. If I take this, I should go to about 7.8k, and I only gained about 100 because of that bug, yes. The bug is if you're using it repeatedly, it's permanent, and then if you take it in the first 2 hours of a day for whatever reason, it gives you a different amount. Probably it like overwrites a previous iteration of it. Not really sure why. Anyway, Lord of the Waste, easy to kill, tons of gold and experience.
The dunes are waves on a sea of gold.
Would I take crit chance scaling? I mean, as a glass cannon beatdown deck, I feel like there's no matchup where it causes me to lose. It gives me outs in some matchups. I think I would take it. But I'll just sell a Shoeblade instead, I guess. Enchanted item with slow effects, crit effects, or burn effects. 50% more is pretty good. How good are my slow effect enchants? By which I mean really specifically the combat core. Anything I put this slow effect on is actually a pretty minor impact. I'm gonna put crit on my combat core, which is essentially, not quite, but essentially 50% more scaling. We go to Nufu, we pray for the juice. We've got the duct tape. Give me anything that synergizes with shields, my man. We roll this every time. The haste freeze is all right, but there's so much more powerful shit available than that. And none of it. When you use the core, reduce an item's cooldown by 5% will be what we have to take, but it's such a slow sort of scaling that it's probably not going to affect anything. Upgrading Net Launcher is not a huge deal. It also isn't interested in showing me what oh, that's Creeping Chill. Man, those are really similar icons, aren't they? Well, getting Net Launcher then seems more important to me than upgrading Creeping Chill, so I'll take that. And it's Pyg, so that does give me a tiny bit of confidence, but he's been winning later than I have, which is terrifying. He might just one-shot me with some bullshit. He might have a ridiculous Vineyard build that I can't get in under. Let's see what he has. It is a ridiculous Vineyard build, but he's missing Yo-Yo. That's not there and it used to be. So if I can stop him from overhealing pretty immediately with scaling high enough, then we might win, but it looks like his weights are just going off indefinitely. And yeah, it's just the fucking bees, man. Oh, the bees weights Vineyard thing is so broken. And it's almost entirely because the Vineyard base heal value is like 300 and something at the end of a game. Like, every time anything happens, they heal for 300, and it makes it so easy to have the weights constant charge. I do think that Diamond weights is one of the most egregiously out of line things in the game, and this is also in large part why I'm not the biggest fan of Combat Core Dooley right now. A lot of games I find with Combat Core Dooley, whether I go 7 wins or 10 wins, it basically comes down to when I go to 15 skill vendors in the second half of the run, do any of them give me hardened shields to buff my duct tape? Do they give me sharp corners to buff my damage? Do they give me defensive stance to buff my damage? Those 3 skills are super powerful and allow this build to pretty easily go 10 wins. But when you find you just go to vendor after vendor after vendor and you just miss them repeatedly, the build really doesn't have an end game out. It's just not strong enough if it didn't go 10 wins. And very frequently the case with Dooley is that you don't get a diamond victory. You don't go 10 wins early. You have to win in the late game. And that means you live and die on the back of skill vendors. And that just feels bad to me. But I mean, that's the game, really. It's just by far at its most noticeable on this specific build, where you have the most insane way of scaling all those shield skills that are balance outliers that, in my opinion, need to be changed. And if you hit them or not, it's entirely going to determine the result of your match so often. I wouldn't be surprised to later come to the opinions that I'm being reductive and overly simplistic right now, but it's entirely how I feel about the game in its current state, because those skills are so impactful. And there's really not a way to scale this much past the 10-day benchmark for just killing somebody if they have day 10 health. And then to get beyond that, you really need skills to push it further, and every time I went to a store, I really got next to nothing. I feel like I should end the video instead of continuing to be salty, but I am going to bitch and moan a little bit more. I feel like the current balance state of Diamond Weights, Diamond Vineyard Bees is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, if you encounter that and your build does not instantly kill your opponent or freeze their board forever, it seems veritably impossible to beat it. I say this as someone who's been on both sides of the matchup, and it just feels bad. It feels bad getting my board to a place where I'm just like waiting to see my opponent's board and whether or not they have Port Freeze Potion or a harpoon gun. And it feels bad as the opposing player seeing the pig come in And rather than like having a real chance of fighting them and seeing how well they've scaled something up and what interactions they have, it's just like, oh, cool. Anytime I do something, their board gets stronger until I die. Good job, bees. Good design. I do really just intensely dislike the play pattern of bees. Basically, everything they interact with is a toxic interaction and they need to go. I'm very genuinely surprised they survived the balance change to Pig. And maybe it's because, like, without bees, Pig genuinely has nothing at this point. I agree with that. But, like, right now, I don't want to play Pig because I know how it goes. I'm going to either get bees or fucking die. Or get an early beast of burden and focus entirely on that. But it just feels so weird playing Pig with half his tools ripped out that, as you saw by my opponents in this run, very few people are interested in doing it. Anyway, I'll call it here and stop rambling about it. I've been rather incoherent. Thank you for your time. If you did make it this far, then please do hit all the buttons for the algorithm. I really do appreciate it. And a massive thank you to the people supporting me both as patrons on Patreon and as channel members here on YouTube. I'll see all of you in the next one.